Today we will be exploring the evil side of greed and desperation. Are you ready to make a bargain?
In Croatian folklore, we will come across many stories that include all variants of the devils. Yes, plural. Unlike Christian beliefs, folklore stories refer to all, let's call them demonic creatures, as devils. And they are known by many names, depending on the region of Croatia to which we travel. Some of the names are Hudić, Šent, Maslak, Nečistak. But the legends say that the worst among them is known as Šentov vrag.
It is said that Sopernice often called upon them for financial support or to aid them with revealing dark secrets. Every time they would call upon them, Sopernice would have to wager one of their fingers or even their souls, depending on the complexity of the task they needed.
But it is interesting that in many cases there are mentions of common people requesting the aid of the devils. And the detailed ritual is quite interesting. One would have to step into the circle that was drawn and blessed with a hazelnut branch that had been growing for exactly 1 year. That circle had to be drawn on the ground in the middle of a crossroad and only on a specific day that is known as Kvaterni petak, or Ember Friday, and it had to be drawn to the length of the stick so that Šanti couldn't get to you.
The number of the people in the circle mustn't have been an even number. One person inside the circle would begin the ritual by whistling 3 times with their fingers. After the whistles, all kinds of fear would start coming forth, such as giant snakes, thunder, and lightning. One would have to survive 3 fears because the 4th fear would be the Šanti, asking the person for their desire. People would usually ask for money, and the Šanti would ask for a soul in return. If there were more people, each and every one of them would have to sacrifice their soul for the prize.
If someone would step out of the circle, the deal would be off. But if you stayed, the final step of the ritual would be to put your little finger on the circle line so that the Šanti could take a drop of your blood and write your name with it, thus sealing your deal.
One more legend that is interesting to mention in this context is the well-known story of the blooming of money. It is said that on the Christmas Ember Day, one could see flames rising in the fields. That was believed to be the indicator of where the devils hid their fortune. If one wanted to take the devil's treasure, they had to go and dig it up at midnight. It didn't matter if you would go alone or in the group, as long as you weren't in pairs, but it was important to be extremely quiet while digging. As in the previous story, all kinds of fears would try to make people scream. If one would make noise, the treasure would sink into the ground, never to be found again.
It is said that the flames burn in different colors, revealing what kind of treasure is buried beneath it. If the flame was blue, there was gold underneath. Silver could be found underneath a white grayish flame, and if the flame burned gray, that meant that there was money in the ground. If one would find the devil's treasure, it couldn't be touched, because it was believed that the first one who would put fingers on it had to pay with their life, and so a cruel legend emerged.
If one would want to come into the possession of the devil's treasure, they would get an old horse or an old cow, tie the rope around the animal and around the treasure chest, and make the animal pull it out, with that sacrificing its life. So guys, let us know, would you make a deal with a Šanti or wouldn't you? This has been once again Croatian Myths and Legends. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, share, like the video, comment down below. My name is Jelena Hrvoj.
And I'm Daniel Fiket.
And we will hear you next week. Bye!
Bye.